Greetings, fellow horror buffs. My name is Rozelle, and I'm going to read a couple of pages from Foundling, a short story from Sinister Smile Press's upcoming anthology, If I Die Before I Wake, Volume 3, from the Better Off Dead series. Monday morning, Graves Hall. After receiving a terse email from Dean Garbles Sunday night, Audrey wound up the marble staircase through the black double doors into the Provost's chamber. The Provost's executive secretary, Loretta, didn't look up when Audrey slipped through the door, but twitted her finger at a stiff orange couch against the far wall. Audrey began to itch, hands quivering, blood vessels churning like she used to before a standardized test. She took deep breaths to calm the growing fear inside her. In the air-conditioned buzz, she could hear Loretta's fingers clicking along the keyboard, hear her own heart hammering against the ominous murmurs from behind the Provost's door. Audrey crossed and recrossed her legs, scanned ancient issues of the Chronicle on the coffee table, and scratched her scaly scalp. "Audrey!" Provost Beaks beckoned from between the dark doors. "Come." The petite Provost, nicknamed Freddy Krueger by the faculty, ushered Audrey to a round table at the rear of the large office. Dean Garbles was seated at the table blowing a cup of tea. Professor Wernos was nowhere to be seen. "Tea?" Provost Beaks extended her hand to a seat at the table. "Please." Audrey sat in her best band leader's posture. "Thank you." "Have a tea cake." Professor Beaks pulled aluminum foil from a plate and slid it towards Audrey as Loretta placed a cup and saucer in front of her. Not looking at Audrey, Dean Garbles flipped open a laptop. "You know about Wernos?" Dean Garbles asked. "She's at a conference?" "No." Garbles gritted her teeth. "She's not at any damn conference. What'd you hear?" "Nothing, Dean Garbles." "Have you seen this?" Garbles spun the laptop to show what looked like CCTV footage down the long aisle of what appeared to be the frozen food section of a grocery store. I haven't," Audrey said. "Well, take a look, doctor." The video showed people pushing shopping carts up and down the aisle. They opened glass doors to pull frozen dinners and bags of chopped vegetables from misty freezers. From a distance, Audrey saw none other than Professor Wernos striding up the aisle with her husband, Archibald. Having recently suffered a major stroke, the aged Archibald struggled to propel himself along in his wheelchair. Halfway down the aisle, Archibald veered the wheelchair over to a freezer door as Professor Wernos continued forward with her cart. With great trouble, the old man opened the glass door and, teetering for a moment, pulled down what appeared to be a frozen pepperoni pizza. Professor Wernos returned and without hesitation snatched the pizza from the bald man's lap. She flung it back into the freezer and shoved the wheelchair down the aisle. Archibald's head bobbled as they moved off screen. "Okay," Audrey shrugged. "Keep watching," said Garbles. A minute later, Archibald returned in his wheelchair and, with great difficulty, retrieved an even larger pepperoni pizza. But when he rotated his chair back down the aisle, Professor Wernos moved between his feeble body and the camera. She bent with Nosferatu claws to grab the pizza from Archibald, but the man pulled back with all his might. Professor Wernos let go of the box. The wheelchair careened backward into the glass, and the pizza flipped end over end to the floor. Wernos snatched up the pizza and leapt toward her terrified husband. Crouching over him like some monstrous mantis, she struck at his ducked head again and again with the cardboard pizza box, while jabbing his thin legs with her sharp heels. Archibald tried to flee down the aisle, backwards in his wheelchair. But it was too late. Professor Wernos pushed the chair over from the side, and the man hit the floor hard. Wernos attacked like a jackal, the pizza box whacking and flailing his unmoving body. It was a full 5 minutes before a group of women pulled Professor Wernos off the bruised and bloodied Archibald. Ape shit, Garble mused. Contaminated, Audrey thought, and covered her eyes.